Can you just tell us like what you do for your day job and how you got interested in music and kind of where you've ended up with that today?
We got to get a tape of you singing here just in case this continues. We want to get a little background. There's just some music we can plug in.
I wondered, was I not going to like it because it was all in Spanish and I don't know Spanish.
I picked up the drums because I figured, what the heck? I own a music store, why not?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Not Your Parents America. And the title of today's episode is Music Matters. And during this episode, we're going to get into all kinds of things about music. We're going to talk about music festivals. We're going to go over some of our favorite artists. We're going to go over the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny versus Kid Rock. And we'll also talk about another iconic Super Bowl halftime show. We're going to, I don't know if I already said this, talk about music festivals a bit, and also how music is so enriching in our lives as individuals and also for our families, for our kids, maybe even in our businesses, and for our health. So we've got a lot to get to, and I have two of my best friends here with me today to talk about these subjects. And the people that you're going to meet are Kimberly Gorski and Whitney McGuire. And before they formally introduce themselves, I want to tell you guys about these two amazing women. First off, they're both moms who do all the mom things. And we all know being a mom is a full-time job, right? Plus, in addition to that, they work outside the home. And in the last few years, they've both been involved in forming an all-female band here in Louisville, Kentucky that plays rock music out at clubs. And I'm just so proud of them. And I'm so happy they're here with me to talk about the subject of all things music-oriented. So please help me in welcoming Kim and Whitney. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
I know.
And
Thank
putting
you.
this together.
It's amazing.
Thanks for being here with me. It's always good to have friends. All right. So, Whitney, we're going to start with you. Can you just tell us like what you do for your day job and how you got interested in music and kind of where you've ended up with that today?
Yes. So my day job, I'm a financial advisor. Accounting and numbers are my main source of income in my life, and that's been my main passion. I graduated from University of Louisville with an accounting degree, so numbers have really been my passion. However, I purchased some music stores with my husband at the time about 5 years ago, and we went through the pandemic, and during that time, I picked up the drums because I figured, what the heck? I own a music store, why not? And drums is a lot of counting involved in drums. So I was like, and so I actually fell in love with the creative process. It kind of used a different part of my brain that I wasn't quite used to, the creative side. I was more the accounting side. And so I joined the rock school program at Mom's Music and became aligned with some really amazing other women, and we formed a band. So it just kind of snowballed, honestly.
That is a really interesting story, and I want to hear, tell me a little bit more about the rock school of music. Is that what you said?
Yes. Well, the two music stores that I own, we do lesson programs, like private lessons with your individual instruments, but we also take those individuals and put them together in a band. And there was some women that were taking lessons, and so they put us together in this rock school program, and we just all clicked immediately. And we just had fun with it, and we were all middle-aged moms, but we really appreciated music and actually edgy music. Like, we play rock music, and we had a lot of fun with it, and it kind of snowballed. And then we started getting gigs, and it just... we're kind of like a freak show, just all women, a bunch of women, moms playing rock music. There's nothing else like that, I guess.
We are not a freak show.
I know, but then we started
show.
gravitating towards like the Go-Go's because they're all women bands.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We started gravitating towards learning those songs, and that's how it really kind of caught our attention. And there's a girl in our band who writes her own music, and that really interested me, the creative process of putting my drum part to her song and it all forming together. And the message that we delivered with our music, the words through the words and the melody. I really, really enjoyed that creative process and utilizing, like I said, that part of the brain that I typically would just sit in front of a computer on my spreadsheets. Normally was my normal life, but so this was a cool, different, out of my comfort zone type of an endeavor.
Yeah.
That I like and I loved, and now my friends are involved in it a little bit too. So I love that.
I love that story, and I love your point about how it also kind of relieves some of the doldrums that we have at work, and it gets your brain to functioning in different ways. And we're going to talk more about that a little bit later in the podcast, because I know that's a subject that we're all three really interested in. Yes. And Kim, I know you guys are in the same band, but you probably had a little bit of a different journey getting to where you're at. So what do you do for a living, and how did you get started with music? Like,
well, let's see.
Days?
I'll start way back in time. No, I'm actually an occupational therapist. I also do commercial real estate, and I also have a film background. And basically, growing up, my house was full of music. My mom played flute. My dad played every instrument you can imagine. He used to be in a band. He played in a band like in the, like 60s, 50s, 60s, kind of like the Everly Brothers, and they would tour, actually went all over Kentucky and played around different gigs, if you will. And so I grew up with kind of music in the house, learned piano, then was obviously in a lot of drama in the background. I went into, not real drama, but like actual drama. I grew up with a theater, like a lot of theater background, and and then kind of into my adult life, you have to kind of do different things. And I'm trying to think how I kind of got into the music. I guess I just started playing around with guitar. And, to Whitney's point, it was kind of nice to have that release kind of, music kind of does free your mind a little bit. If you get stressed out at work, you pick up an instrument. It's kind of nice. So I kind of was playing with guitar, had played piano. And then one day Whitney called me and said, "Hey, we need a bass player. Can you play bass?" And I thought, hey, why not? Maybe I can play bass. So I went and took some lessons, and
yes, she can.
To be honest, became the bass player right for Go Girl, and it's been amazing. It's fun. It's just a real good collaboration and a creative outlet, for everything. And we are having a great time with it. So
we are.
Yeah, I love that. And I just have to ask, what instrument did your dad play, or what part did he do in bands? Because I love your dad. I know him.
He sings, and he played guitar, banjo, piano. I mean, he can pick up any instrument. He picked up the violin at our house one time and started playing it. He can just, you play by ear, and he does not read any music. He plays 100% by ear. Yeah. And he can pick up anything and play it.
That's
so
amazing. I didn't know that
about your dad. Amazing. Yeah. That is so cute.
Well, that's where you get it from, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, we're going to circle more around back to the band and the Louisville music scene as a whole, and also some of your experiences with the music store, Whitney, like more towards the end of the show. But right now, we're going to jump right into some of our favorite artists. And I'm going to kick us off with the Super Bowl discussion. This year's Super Bowl, only in America, right? Can we have controversy over a Super Bowl halftime show?
High roll.
It's okay. It's all good. I'm going to take the Bad Bunny side, and I think Whitney's going to do Kid Rock, and then Kim's going to round us out with Surprise.
Okay.
And so I will start with Bad Bunny. I actually had a lot of fun researching this, thanks to you guys, because I never would have otherwise. Anyway, Bad Bunny, his real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. And let me tell you why the NFL asked him to be the Super Bowl's halftime show. They asked him to do this because of two words, business and money. So the NFL is looking to expand globally, and Bad Bunny is really a global star. This particular Super Bowl show was viewed by over 4 billion people globally. That is a record. It was the fourth highest viewed Super Bowl show in the United States. So Bad Bunny, again, I knew nothing about him before this. He was the most popular artist on Spotify globally in 2025. And this was his fourth time hitting that milestone since 2020. He received a Grammy this year for his album, and that was kind of a first because it was the first album that was spoken completely in Spanish. In the last 2 years, this is going to blow your mind, he was the #1 artist in Apple Music in China, of all places. He has quite a following. A lot of people describe his concerts as not as much like a concert, but they feel like it's more like a cultural family gathering, goes to a nightclub. And I have to say, that's kind of how I experienced the Super Bowl halftime show. I just experienced it as kind of a celebration of culture and music. The things that I liked about it were, I wondered, was I not going to like it because it was all in Spanish and I don't know Spanish? And I was like, well, heck, it doesn't really matter because half the time I don't know what the artists are saying anyway, right? So, and that was my experience. I liked the music. It was very upbeat, energetic, just multiple moving stages, multiple nods to the Puerto Rican culture. There were over 300 dancers. I loved the fashions. They were kind of modern colors, like sort of neutral tones. And there was a wedding. There were some cameos by Cardi B, Jessica Alba, and others. There was a performance by Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin. And some of the nods to the Puerto Rican culture were some food stands where they were selling things like tacos and coconut drinks. There were sugarcane fields. There were men playing dominoes, jewelers. I really felt like I was in Puerto Rico. Never been there before. And also, I really liked, there was a part where they walked around and flew flags of the different Americas. And when we say Americas, I mean like North and South America, like the different cultures. And that made it really, really colorful in contrast to the outfits of the dancers, which were more neutral. And speaking of outfits, I loved Bad Bunny's outfit. It was designed by Zara, one of my favorite clothing companies, because it's not that expensive and they have cool clothes.
Mm-hmm. I love them too.
The other thing I wanted to say was it was pretty cool. I thought Bad Bunny did a replica of his Grammy. He gave a replica of his Grammy to a child, which was supposed to symbolize to follow your dreams as a kid. And I also liked that at the end on the Jumbotron, there was a saying that the only thing more powerful than hate is love, which I agree with. All right, so that is my synopsis of the Bad Bunny halftime show.
You just made me hungry talking about those
Whitney?
tacos. Sorry.
Yes,
We have no tacos.
it is lunchtime.
We have water. We don't even have mints. So, all right, Whitney, how about Kid Rock? Tell us. I know you've told me before that you like Kid Rock's music. I know nothing about the guy, to be honest. I mean, I don't love his music, but I know a lot of my friends absolutely do. So I am very intrigued about the show and about him as an artist.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Kid Rock. We saw him in concert. He came here in town, and a group of us girls all went. And I guess the biggest message, I think he's entertaining in general because he's got a cool little swagger to him, and it's kind of like Bad Boy, but I don't know. He's got a cool little shtick. But also I guess the thing that is becoming more Kid Rock now is because he's very American. Like when we went to his concert, we all dressed in red, white, and blue. And like the whole show was about America. America, God bless America. It was very just red, white, and blue oriented. So I'm a fan of, I was a fan of him before, all of this. And so, now I'm a bit more of a fan of him just because I seem to align with a lot of his pro-America policy or his pro-America love for America. So I love that. I've seen him in concert. He brings the energy. He really brings the energy. Like you feel like you're just, his songs are cool. He's got everything from the rap to the rock to he's got some ballads that he's sung with Sheryl Crow. So I think he just touches every element in his music. I love his energy. I love his work ethic. He obviously works very hard. He talks a lot about his family when he's playing music. When we saw him, he was talking about he's a grandpa, you know. And
he's a grandpa, isn't he?
I'm like, wow, how cool is it to have your grandpa up there dancing around, you know? So I really, so at the halftime, I ended up tuning into his show on like a different network versus watching the Bad Bunny. And I was really moved by all the different artists that he had playing on that. They were mostly country inspired. I'm not a big country fan, but I did like the country music that they had, the artists that he had invited to play. The girl especially, I forget the name, Gabby, I think she was really good. Like I thought she really gave a great performance. So I just, I like his pro-American, I like his energy, and I like his work ethic. And, you know, he's luckily gotten himself to a point where he can be more edgy. Not all our entertainers can do that, you know.
Yeah,
he's gotten to a point like we can't get that political or we can't get that too controversial because it's like
no matter what, you can always get blacklisted or
you
something.
can, yeah.
Right.
So it's interesting how he's been able to flip it and just do whatever he wants now, and he still has this amazing following. But I'm hoping that what came out of it and what is the pro-America type philosophy, because our country is a bit divided now, and bringing the country together and we're all just being a proud American should be something regardless of who we voted for.
Well, and either side, music is a uniter. Let's face it, music is all about uniting people, and everybody loves music. Everybody loves music and just loves to sing it and hear it and play it.
Music touches every person, religion, gender, culture, the globe. Everyone listens to music.
Right.
Exactly.
All ages,
it is our uniter.
Babies, what do? We sing our babies a lullaby.
Right, absolutely. It's great.
I did like his performance, and I'm a fan of his, mostly because we saw him in concert, and we had a blast because it was lots of energy. I'm all about energy in concerts, which we might talk about that later when we get into
energy,
the festival
for sure.
topic.
There's nothing like a good concert. All right, Kim, you want to do the surprise Super Bowl review for us?
I just love, I'm just going to say, you know, again, I just go back to, I just love all music. There's not a whole lot of music I've met that I don't, unless it's bad music that's mean to women or other people. Other than that, I love all music. It's just such a great uniter. And I'm just going to say my favorite Super Bowl performance of all time was Prince, because Prince he rocked it. And just some fun facts. He went up there and did his rehearsal, and it was horrible. So he gets up there, everything went wrong. He hit his head on the microphone stand, and then the NFL's like, "Wait, we gotta get a tape of you singing here just in case this continues. We want to get a little background. There's just some music we can plug in case it's this bad when you get on stage." And Prince was like, "No," but they still went ahead and got some music together. And then I guess, and it was like a 3-hour rehearsal. And so then he went out there, and the other funny thing about it was he did all these covers. And so Foo Fighters didn't even know that he was going to cover their song. So they were talking about that they're at a Super Bowl party and they're watching it on TV, and all of a sudden he came out and what did he play? Best of You. He played Best of You, and they ran out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Prince is covering our song." And they were so happy. And, you know, he played Proud Mary by CCR, and he played, what's the other one he played? He played, All Around the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. And then, of course, did his songs. Then it started to rain. And, you know, they were like, "Oh no, what are we going to do? It's raining." And Prince was like, got out there and brought it in the rain and sang Purple Rain. And everybody thought it was part of the show.
That's like perfect.
And
It was a good one.
and he said, "I wish it would have rained more," because he loved it. And it's just that's energy. I mean,
That's energy.
I remember
for sure.
just being blown away by that Prince performance, and just thought that is my very favorite, because he had passion. He loved everybody. It was love. Everybody loved the song. Everybody was singing. It was glorious. It was like the best Super Bowl.
It was
I think of
pretty
all
awesome.
time.
I was going to say, Rolling Stones actually rated the Prince performance as the best Super Bowl halftime show of all
Oh my gosh,
time.
I still have cold chills thinking about it.
Yeah,
It was so
I
good.
love it.
I don't remember that one, so I'm going to have to go back on YouTube and look that one up
Yeah.
because I love Prince.
Yeah.
Well, Prince was, you didn't know what side, he was very in the middle. He brought people together.
He was in the
So
middle,
maybe that's
for
why it
sure.
was so good, that it was universal.
And if we're really going to talk about controversies, we could talk about Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. We're going to talk about controversy, but that's another show, I guess.
Yeah, we don't want to get too
show.
controversial. We want to be united.
Might be for your long-term podcast, which we'll get to in a minute. All right. Now we're going to jump right into, I think, what's going to be kind of a fun segment. Some of our favorite artists, and we're going to do a round robin here.
All right.
And after each review of the artist, we can give a score of how we feel about them on a scale of 1 to 5 guitars, with 5 being the best. And I'm going to start us off with a few facts about Harry Styles, who I happen to love. He is 32 years old. He is from Britain. He was actually discovered when he was eliminated from a British talent vocal show himself, along with several other boys. And those boys that were eliminated formed a boy band that we all know, One Direction, in 2010. And then they were actually the most popular boy band of all time until 2016 when they parted ways. Harry wasted no time on getting started on his solo career by releasing his first album in 2017. And that one became a top 10 selling album globally. He then released his second album in 2019 with one of my favorite songs, Watermelon Sugar. After that, he released Harry's House, and that one received a Grammy for Album of the Year. Harry has achieved a lot in his young years, including 3 Grammys, 3 American Music Awards, and 4 MTV Video Music Awards. He has done some films. We all know him for his extremely flamboyant style, almost like Prince, but maybe a little more so. Fun fact, he's actually the only male to ever be featured solo on the cover of, I think it was Vogue. No, maybe Vanity Fair. One of those two. And what did he wear? A blue Gucci dress, of course. That's Harry.
Brings out his
you.
eyes.
He is into LGBTQ rights as well as racial equality. And also, this is interesting because I saw his concert around the time after the Uvalde shooting. He actually partnered with a gun safety company. So at the concert, he had like on the screens, like, you could look at a QR code to learn more about gun safety, and also if you wanted to contribute money. So, girls, you guys know I love Harry Styles. I'm
You
giving
do
him
love
5
Harry Styles.
guitars. Whitney and Kim, how many guitars?
For Harry?
Yeah.
Harry.
Oh, I think Harry's great. I think he's great.
4.5 at least.
Fun fact, I listen to Calm at night to go to sleep when my mind is racing,
Yeah.
and he has a calm, put you to bed sort of story that you can listen to, and his voice is melodic and beautiful. So I hate to say, I listen to Harry all the time because he puts me to sleep.
So, yeah, that's a great tip for our audience.
It
if
is.
you need that's an app, Calm.
It's an app,
And-
Calm
yes,
app, and if you
all
go
right.
on there, Harry has a little bedtime story for you that you can listen to with his
So-
beautiful English voice.
Kim, do you want to go next? Do you have any artists you want to review?
Speaking of England, let's just go on to my favorite, who is, I might say 10 guitars. It is Sting, who is my ultimate favorite.
Yes,
I love him.
She loves
I love
Sting.
him so much.
We
I
know.
have loved him ever since he was with the Police. It's just because his energy and his creativity, and he's just, everything about him is amazing. Born on October 2nd of 1951, Sting was born in Wellstand, England. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But, growing up, he started with like jazz bands, and then he, in the jazz band, he used to wear a black and yellow striped sweater, and everyone called him, like, because he was a bee, it looked like a bee, so they called him Sting. That's where his name came from.
Oh,
So,
Didn't know that.
did not know
fun
that.
fact
Thank
about
you.
Sting. So then he kind of went on to, play with different people here and there. He ended up with Andy Summers, and they formed the Police, and we all know that. And one of the other fun facts about Sting, where he gets his voice, think of Roxanne, and he does that high-pitched Roxanne, where it's really high. He does that because he used to be a paper boy, and you would have to say, whatever the name of the paper was, Courier Journal, and he had to kind of go up and shout to that. So he got that vocal range from doing his shout as he was giving out the papers. So fun little fact there. But then he went on to the police. He did he decided after a while there was some skirmishes amongst them that he would go off on a solo career and just try it out. And he did Join with the Blue Turtles, I think was his first one. Then he ended up doing Nothing Like the Sun still with Andy Summers, but he collaborated with Eric Clapton, and I just love all that. He has gone on to acting roles. Did you know this? He is in 19 different films. So, including Dune, and he was in Julie and Julia, and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and just beyond that, beyond his amazing music and the fact that I love him so much, he also does a lot of really great things. He's done musicals. He just finished The Last Ship, which was in England, and I really wanted to go, but I just couldn't do it. But that would have been amazing to see. He has done some soundtracks for cartoons like Emperor's New Groove and some Disney shows, and he also is a person too that cares a lot about the world. He does Amnesty International. He did do Live Aid. He was one of the big originators in Live Aid for famine in Ethiopia. And then he's gone on and formed the Rainforest Foundation because he really has gotten really involved in that, heavily involved in that. But he's just all around a great guy, 6 kids. He's a grandpa as well.
No way. And, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had 6 kids.
And, we can talk a little bit more about the music festivals because he has come to Louisville a couple of times. But, I've gone to see him everywhere. And speaking of music as a uniter, fun quick fact, I know we're in a little time crunch, but I was in Chile seeing Sting, and I was next to this girl, and she didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any Spanish. But his songs came on, and the two of us just sat there and sang. Yeah. We were drinking a little wine too, but we had at one point we were just kind of arm in arm, just singing his songs together. It's just such a uniter, and he is known throughout the world. And
yes.
I have gone everywhere. So anyway, 10 guitars.
I'll give him 10 as well.
Yes,
for sure.
Agree.
All right.
Love him.
All right. Whitney, take it away. Who do you want to review?
Well, I'd like to talk about someone that I've never was a big fan of. I just liked his music on the radio. I was fond of his music. But I saw him live at Bourbon and Beyond. It's Tyler Childers. I saw
great.
him.
He is so great too.
And he blew
one.
me away. He blew me away. He was such an entertainer in person. And then, so now I listen to his music constantly because I totally connected with it live.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thought or concept to me, how it can really grab you when you're in a live performance.
Sure.
And you may not, and it'll be different if you just heard it randomly on the radio. But man, it grabbed me in person, not only like his presence, his delivery, but his whole band. And he didn't sing the whole time. The whole band like kind of jammed. And it was bluegrassy a little bit and country-ish, but then he had a little edge to it. And he just blew me away. And so I listen to his music now on the radio or my Spotify, and it invokes that feeling that I had seeing him live at Bourbon and Beyond, out there in that big, huge festival field, So I love him. And now that I've become a fan of him, I've watched how he's evolved. He's a local guy. He's from Kentucky.
Okay, I did not know that.
And they talked a lot about that, and he gets really involved in fundraising for Appalachia, because there's a lot of poverty involved in where he came from and in the surrounding areas in Kentucky, and so I've become not a fan of him just only because I got Bourbon and Beyond tickets, and I was like, well, all right, I ended up I planned on going to see another band. But he was the headliner. I was like, well, I got to stay. And I do like his songs. And literally, he grabbed me and just took a hold. And I'm a big fan of his ever since. So now he's got some new music coming out. So Tyler Childers, he's...
What's your rating for him?
So he's a 5. He would have been like a 3.5 or 4 before I saw him live. And he just totally sold it. And
I'm going to give him 5 just on your review.
Yes.
Like, I'm seriously, like, I didn't see him, and I really wish I had, and I'm going to be getting on Spotify tomorrow.
You need to see him because he's starting to do a lot of concerts locally in Kentucky as well. And there was a couple we were standing next to that flew in from L.A., from California, to see Tyler Childers.
Wow.
I was like, dang. So he's grabbing all over the nation, but he's doing a lot locally. So I'm a fan of his.
How many guitars, Kim?
I give him 5. I've heard him before, and he's amazing. And that's energy too. He has
He had the energy.
amazing
he
energy.
brought it, and it was genuine. It felt so genuine. And
happy to be there. Happy for everyone is there and supporting.
he was
him.
humble, very humble when he speaks. And
I love that.
yeah, he's just the full package, in my opinion, of a good human and musician together.
And so I'm kind of like you, like that that experience of just being at a concert, and again, maybe an artist that you don't know that well, and that's kind of lead us into the person I want to talk about next that I had never heard, who is Jack White. And I just remember, again, this was last year he was there. Didn't know anything about him. Yeah, it's like I'm living under a rock, man. But yeah, he just blew me away with like his, ability to play the guitar and the energy that he brought. Excuse me. I do want to give you some fun facts about Jack White. He is 50 years old. He is from Detroit. He is the youngest of 10 kids. Yes, comes from a large Catholic family. Both of his parents worked for the Archdiocese of Detroit. And another fun fact, he got accepted to the seminary and was going to become a priest. Thank goodness he didn't, right? Or we wouldn't have had all this great rock and roll.
Fascinating.
I know.
Just had
He is most
organ music
known
behind it.
for his revival of garage rock, but he's also been described as his music blues rock, punk blues, alternative rock. He started his musical career at the age of 5 when he got a drum set, which he turned his bedroom into a studio and, of course, slept on a foam mattress. He's probably best known as one of the 2 frontmen of the White Stripes. Then they were officially together from 1997 to 2011. And when I say frontmen,
What does that mean?
I saw Kim squinting her eyes at me. Yes.
Are
The
they
other
married
member of
or are
the
they brother
band-
and sister? What are they?
I know. We're going to talk about that fun fact too. The other member of the White Stripes was his wife, Meg. And during that time, they did divorce while they were officially together. And actually, they stopped playing long before 2011. Meg had some anxiety issues. I think their actual last public performance together was in 2009. And to your point, Kim, the funny part is, yes, they did tell people for years that they were brother and sister. After they got famous, White got criticized for this a little bit, and he said, well, we really wanted the focus to be on our music and not on our marriage. So White Stripes just recently got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2025, which I think is really cool. Again, obviously, Jack White has gone on to have a flourishing solo career. Other bands he was in, the Raconteurs, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, and the Dead Weather. The Raconteurs actually opened 8 times for Bob Dylan, which is pretty cool because that's one of White's kind of idols. And Rolling Stones has named Jack White one of the greatest guitarists of all times. He's been on 2 separate lists of theirs. He is proficient at playing guitar, bass, percussion, piano, and mandolin. Guys, I'm giving Jack 5 stars. I'm sorry,
Yes.
5 guitars. Love him.
I love that history on him too.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Jack White.
Yeah, he
Completely.
was really good.
Fun fact, at Maxwell's House of Music, we have a record cutting machine that there's only 5 of them in the world, and Jack White owns 2 of them. And we have one
that is
at
a fun
Maxwell's
fact.
where it cuts a record.
That is so cool
How
because
they used
I
to do
read
it.
about that.
Yeah.
Like he has his own music studio. I think it's
Yeah.
called Third Man Studios, and they
Third
talked
Man.
about vinyls.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he makes pedals now, and he makes a lot of cool stuff. He's always out at the NAMM show. He's a real advocate for everything music related and helping young artists.
Yeah.
So he's a good
Yes, I read that too.
he's a good advocate in general.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
comes from his Catholic background.
Right.
He's
Church,
got a good
strict
human.
He almost
church.
became a priest, for
Yeah.
goodness
That's
sakes.
crazy.
My gosh. All right, who wants to go next in reviewing an artist?
I'll go. I want to
right.
talk about a band.
Okay.
The band is 311. I've been a fan of them
I love them.
I've not heard of them.
forever,
love them too.
all through the 90s.
Okay.
And I finally got the chance to see them live. They came to Louisville and they played at the Iroquois Amphitheater. And I purchased the extra tickets to get up close. And they bring the energy. They have a cool, I've always been a grunge person, 90s grunge.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of that. They've got some rap in there. They've got some rock. I mean, I'm a big fan of them. And so interesting enough, they've been together, the same members forever. Like I think they just celebrated like 30 years, 35 years together.
Wow.
And
That's pretty incredible. That
it's
never
amazing.
happens.
They've stood the test of time. They're still putting out music. The coolest part was the singer, Nick. Well, he's beautiful. He's good looking, but he's also a great singer. He's got the cool pipes. He's got the stage presence. But towards the end of the show, he obviously doesn't miss his workouts either because he took his shirt off and he was flexing the muscles. I was like,
Hopefully
oh
it was
my
the
God.
summer.
It was over
It's
the
an
summer.
outdoor theater.
Yes, outdoor theater in Louisville called the Iroquois Amphitheater. They're starting to really put some cool concerts
Yeah, for
together
sure.
out there.
Absolutely.
And when 311 came, I was on it. Because I've always been a fan. Like that song Amber, love that song.
I love that
That's
song, yeah.
a great song. But that's one of like many that I love about them. And so they're probably one of my favorite bands because they just hit all, again, I like bands that kind of cross all the different genres. They can
Yeah.
bring the energy, they can bring the melodies, or bring the soft harmonies or ballad type songs, or they can do the edgy. And they also
Right.
have a rap little concept in there too. They've got Nick is the main singer, but they also got a rap guy that sings with them too. They got the same guitar player, same bass player, same drummer. So they're one of my favorite bands.
A little reggae too. They got a little reggae.
They got a reggae flavor
little
to
ska.
their music.
It's everything.
Yes, they're from California, and
It's amazing.
You're making me want to listen to them too this week. So,
Yes.
all right, I've got a list now.
311,
And you're giving them,
5, 10 out of 10.
all right.
I love them too. I'm going to give them a 5.
Yeah.
We've given everybody 5s. This is
Yes.
also
I
amazing
know,
music.
We're only talking about the ones we love.
They're our
right?
favorites.
Yeah, and hopefully we're getting the audience introduced to some new music
new
as
music.
well. All right, Kim, you're up. What's
I
what's
like
next?
classics, and I'm going to talk about a classic person, Chris Isaac. He's amazing. I've been listening to him for a long time, but he's just such an interesting guy, and he his voice is just buttery and soft, and he's just a true talent.
I love that description.
It is. It's just
Yeah,
like
it is.
if you listen to any of his music, and he also has like kind of a little Memphis flair sometimes to his music. It's kind of nice. But I've met him several times. Very nice person. He's an actor. I think he was even in Silence of the Lambs. I think he's been in all
did not know
kinds.
that.
He has a little acting that he's done in several films. He also had a little show for a while, which interestingly enough was about his band and touring. And I think it was on HBO for a while, Chris Isaac's show. And it was just all about what it's like to tour in his band and what the guys were like, and lightly
I saw him
scripted.
at Unbridled.
Oh yeah.
He was at Unbridled.
He was at Unbridled one year. Yeah, he's just an all around Renaissance guy. He's really great. Renaissance man. And he does have a favorite guitar. Fun little fact. Gibson made a guitar. It was a sample item, and they just were testing it out. It was I'm going to get this wrong. 6120. It's kind of a version of a Gretsch. Am I saying that right?
Okay.
And they never made them, but they had this one sample guitar, and that is the guitar. They said, "Well, let's give it to Isaacs. He'll keep it." And he tried it, and he loved it.
Yeah.
It is his main guitar. He plays on all the shows.
Yeah.
Fun little.
The Gretsch has a unique design that probably would match his persona, so
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
him,
So,
for sure.
but I love Chris Isaacs. 5 guitars on him.
Yeah, agree. He's
Kim, did you want to say something about one of our favorite female artists?
I do. I have to give a nod to this. I do. Let's just talk about Tina Turner. Underappreciated. She is just amazing. She's a dynamo.
Yeah,
And you know what
is.
I love her is because she's just such a comeback. Like she was already there, and she was under Ike, and Ike was kind of a jerk. We all know Ike's terrible. But anyway, but Ike and her did have some great music. Because she was just this powerhouse, and then was brought all the way down to the mat. and then came back in such a big way. And then she's an actress, and she's all of a sudden there she is, and she's in the 80s. Like, wasn't she so inspirational? Late 80s,
so inspirational,
and just
completely.
And she just passed away. But I just think we didn't really ever really truly. I mean, I appreciated her, but I think we just need to really appreciate Tina for what she was and her strength and how powerful she was, and her drive, and for females in music too. I think she's just really great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, she is really truly one of the female greats.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So a little nod to her. There's so many. There's so many though that I would love.
5 guitars for
Tina.
guitars
for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Okay, girls, let's move on to some music festivals. And Kim and Whitney, I'm going to let you guys start. And if you want to talk about anything, I know we've touched on a little bit how music festivals have touched our lives. And
well, I'll nerd out. I'll start and nerd out for you.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys go.
I'll give you a little nerd out. So actually, music festivals started in ancient Greece for the Pythian Games in Delphi. And it was a time when people could come together and celebrate music and humanity and just get together, spring. And that's kind of the very first music festival. But then the official first music festival was the Three Choirs Festival in England, of course, went on to become the Newport Jazz Festival in 1954. But only then, when Chuck Berry got up and took the stage and blew everyone away, did it really take foothold and really became kind of what it is today. Went on to the Reading Festival in 1961, Isle of Wight Festival in 1968, and then there's Woodstock. So Woodstock is not the official first music festival like everyone thinks. So fun little fact going into today where we have such great music festivals.
Woodstock may have been the trailblazer.
The trailblazer, probably,
sure.
yeah.
With the festivals that we have today.
Yeah.
We're so fortunate to have Bourbon and Beyond. I mean,
We are in Louisville.
Yes.
in Louisville. That's
Thank you, Danny
what
Wimmer.
brings us together,
Yeah.
honestly, our friendship.
I know, well, yeah, and a lot of times, it's like we haven't seen each other in months, but hey, we're definitely all three
Let's
going to be
go.
at
We're going to
Bourbon
spend the
Beyond,
entire day
so
at Bourbon and Beyond.
It's hot.
So
it can
guys,
be dusty, but we love it.
tell the audience a little bit about our festival here in Louisville, Bourbon and Beyond, because I think it's a special one.
It really is. There's a lawn and there's how many stages? They've doubled the stages size, but there was at least 6 stages last year, and they bring in all genres, like a big wide array of genres.
Over
And
3 days.
We're going to see this guy on this stage, and then we're zooming over here to go see this one on this stage, and it's 4 days long. And
That's right, 4.
Yeah.
It's 4-day festival, yeah.
And this upcoming one, they've packed it full of some of our favorite artists. So
gonna be
I feel like
amazing.
I'm going to be out there all 4 days, and it's exhausting a little bit.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's all-
And I
You
can
gotta
only
be
do
ready.
2 days. Last year
Yeah.
I did 2, and I was exhausted. But this year I am going to push through because they have chocked it full.
You're so happy at the end. You're just like, I can't believe I saw so much good music.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
that
a-
moment where you're like, this is great. He's amazing.
I never heard him before. He's amazing. And yeah, they really do bring, I think what's cool about it is that there's so many different types of music, as you were saying. And so we often see, again, as people, maybe some of the fewer people that go to all 4 days, we often see tons of different age ranges. Music that would be oriented towards Gen X, but also towards the way younger crowd, like our kids. And
Right, for sure. No, it's great.
Yeah, I went with my teenager this past year.
Yeah.
And I was going to see the Spin Doctors over here, and she was going to see Megan Maroney on that other stage because that was her genre. So,
Yeah.
and it was all going on at the same time, all over the place.
Well, when it first started, it was at a different place. And I remember going, actually, I think I went with you, or maybe it was other Shelley. And Eddie Vedder was playing, and you could get your cocktail and walk right up to the stage. And there was Eddie Vedder just right there. And there's trees, and it was really nice. But then the flood came, and they realized that was not the best place to have it. The following year, I can't remember what year it was. And that was the year, by the way, that Sting was there. And the flooding was so bad that you sunk up to your knees in the mud trying to get out. And even though the next day was Sting, I was still prepared. I was going to put on some hip waders and get a toboggan, and I was going to go up there to see Sting, but he ended up canceling. But then, but now it's just so great. And it's just, now they've moved it to the waterfront, and it's just, not waterfront, I'm sorry, to a different,
fairgrounds.
a fairgrounds,
Yeah.
where it's like nice and dry. But there's just so much great music every year. I'm so happy every time we go.
I know. I'm so excited that it just continues to get better and better, and it puts us on the map. Like the people that travel from out of town to come, we're always meeting people from out of town.
Oh yeah, it's just great.
It's great for Louisville.
Good
Completely
connector.
Great. So yeah, if we can translate that into helping our local Louisville music scene through our conversations, it's just a win for musicians in general. It's a hard business to gut through.
We are a bit of a creative hub here in
think
bits,
so.
like between film. We have a great film community here that's growing because of the tax incentives. Thank you. And then also because of now the music scene. I think the music scene is getting to be so big here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're as I think we support each other in this community. It's not as cutthroat and as competitive, and we help each other and lift each other up instead of we're uniting. We're all about uniting on this podcast too.
Music is uniting.
We are. And we do have a lot to talk about when it comes to the Louisville music scene, because I agree with you, Whitney. It's a very special kind of a place where, again, and I think there's a lot of events where musicians in this community are trying to support just the city in general. We're going to end really quickly on music festivals. I wanted to bring up two that I thought were intriguing, maybe for our kids, like the Gen Zs and the millennials, a little more geared to the younger crowd. One is Electric Forest. It's literally in a forest in Michigan and features electronic and jam band music. And it is lit up at night with lights and hammocks. I thought it sounded really cool. There's another one called Beyond Wonderland, and it is Alice in Wonderland themed with all kinds of crazy costumes and immersive art type of things. And it is in California, Georgia, and I'm trying to think Washington State and Chicago. All right, so we are getting closer to the end of our podcast, and I know one thing we really wanted to talk about was how we feel music affects just individuals, families, people, patients, colleagues, work environment, positive effects of music. You girls?
Yeah, I could just speak a little bit about what we do at our music stores. We've got some sessions that we've done with the best results we've gotten are with children and with seniors. The cognitive benefits to exposing them to music, you could actually see magic happen when you see their eyes light up that they played that whole song. And then you see the benefits with kids. They do better in school. They're better socialized. They come out of their shells a little bit. So I think it's really important to talk about how music, we all don't have to be rock stars and Harry Styles and everything. I think it's just grassroots level, just how important music is to expose to our communities, our children, our seniors, keep their brains firing, keep the endorphins going in their brains, and keep a positive attitude in school or in their work life or anything. I just think we need to talk more about that, just incorporating that. It doesn't have to be your whole life, just a sliver of your life, picking up a guitar and just playing around. I think that's something that unites. I think that's something that unites all of us. It's definitely united us as friends. We go to these concerts together. So
Go girl,
sure.
we play.
And now we're in a band together. So
We play all the time.
it's just it's not discussed maybe as much as how much music brings people together.
Everyone should play
On
music.
every level, whether you're
Right.
Taylor Swift or whether you're just sitting here in a little podcast room,
Right.
every level of people.
It is the true uniter. You sing in your car, you sing in the shower, you
Yes.
download. Music is
motivates.
just so great. I can speak to. We have a friend who is an Elvis impersonator, and my mom had dementia and was in a nursing home and not really very verbal or just obviously very inner shell. As later stages of dementia, he came and sang to her, and I'm going to say that music came into her, and the light came back in her eyes. And it just made her so happy. just that music was able to even cross that horrible barrier of dementia and kind of brought her out for a little bit.
It's magic.
So
That
it's
is-
just,
It really
Oh
is.
God,
know?
that gave me a little chill
Yeah.
just thinking about that.
I did read about that too, as like using music as therapy, and like to your point with dementia patients. Also, they were talking about like in your field, like with occupational therapy. Let's say you got a neck injury, and you can use that like when people are rehabbing, because it can help decrease pain. Things with kids, I think it helps with math skills. No surprise that you love numbers and music, right?
yeah.
I think there's supposed to be a connection between those things. And the other thing, music, like one of my friends at work listens to classical music to de-stress. And I have a good friend who does some, I guess, new agey type music without words, but again, kind of a de-stress type thing that he always plays in his car because he's got a lot going on in his life. So tell me, girls, before we have to wrap up, any plans with your band or the music community in Louisville in terms of bringing more music to people? What do you guys got going on?
Well, first I'll talk about our favorite project right now, which we
Yeah.
are actually trying to do. I don't use the word reality show because that has bad connotations, but it's kind of more like Chris Isaac's show in a way. It's just a show about music and how everyone should play music and what it looks like. What's a musician go through? What is it like to actually, be a musician and go set up a show, and what are musicians like, and just kind of stories about people that become musicians. And we're actually making a little pilot show right now that we're trying to shop out to different producers that are out there to kind of pick us up and, hopefully have something kind of interesting to kind of inspire more people to pick up an instrument and do it, because it's so important. And we're just trying to inspire others to enjoy what we enjoy.
Yeah, so with our girl band, our all-female girl band, we've been writing some music, and so we've been recording our music.
Cool.
So every song we have recorded and written together, we have like a message about as we're all moms and we've been through a lot,
Yeah.
and so we have a lot to
of
say. There's two women in our band, and they deliver babies for a living. They're baby doctors. And one of the songs is called Sink or Swim. And it's about a woman that keeps having babies with different men to try to like change her life. And it never works.
Yeah.
Like they see it in real life,
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
And they literally get pregnant, have that baby, and they have to either sink or swim. And so it's a real grabber.
That's a really interesting.
It's very interesting. The
Yeah.
words are real deep.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called Party Dress, where it's about a mom that she's tired. She's been working with kids all week, and one of them had pink eye, and it's like all she wants to do is just put on her party dress and go out and dance. And so that's a fun-loving song,
Yeah.
Like Boyfriend for the Weekend,
And then there's another one called Boyfriend for the Weekend.
which is all fictitious. It is about no one in the band.
about everybody wants a boyfriend for the weekend if they're going out and partying in a different city.
I love how this original music is like kind of also female oriented. I think
Yes.
that's really cool. Now, are you guys out yet on Spotify or anything like that?
We're on.
No, we're working on that process.
What's the one we're on? Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yeah,
Okay.
which is lower, but the goal is obviously for all musicians is to get your music like on Spotify or Apple Music, and
Right.
that's a realistic process for anybody to be able to navigate. And we're in the process of doing that
Mastering,
right now.
like mastering
There's
those songs we're
mastering of
talking
the
about.
music. I mean, it's fascinating to get to that point where it's just an idea, then you record it, then you master it, and then you get it out there on Spotify. Like
Right.
it's a process,
It's
and we're living that right now. And so
Right.
it's interesting. Again, it's that whole creative side of my brain that I wasn't really using as much. I was all about the numbers. And you get it. It's kind of like addicting. You're just like, whoa, this is cool. It makes you feel elevated and positive, and get some endorphins flying in your brain.
Absolutely. And to your point, Whitney, it takes a lot of discipline. And that's something, again, like benefits for kids. Like even if you're in the school band or whatever, it takes discipline to like juggle all of those things. One thing, we got to wrap up here, but I did want to say I do feel like that's cool in the Louisville music scene. We have a lot of bands that do a lot of charitable type concerts. And I think, didn't you tell me, Whitney, your music store, that you guys do some lessons for kids?
We do. We have some, it's called the Max Music Well Foundation. We call it the Well. and it's a well of music inspiration. And we've got people that have donated, benefactors that have donated to give lessons to kids for free.
You went to
Love
Costa
that.
Rica? You guys went to Costa
Mark
Rica?
went to Costa Rica and set up. We have a lab, a music lab that we set up. We built with these monies these people donated, and so that's where all the lessons happen, which is pretty cool. And we put one of those labs in Costa Rica. Mark did. So with his connections, and he does concerts out there in Costa Rica.
Which we'll visit on our show when once
Yes.
it's picked up on,
He's an interesting
on Maxwell's House of Music.
He's an interesting
just
bird
visit.
all on his own. My business partner.
He is.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool. Like there might be the most talented kid, but they couldn't. Their parents may not be able
Right.
to afford music lessons because it can get pricey.
Yeah.
But so this offers that opportunity, and
Builds
through that,
confidence
there's some
and-
rock stars that kind of arise, and we're like, wait, we need to put you in a band, and you can see them coming out of their shells.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then it forces we put them in a group, and it forces them to work as a
Right.
group.
Yeah.
That's another basic life concept that I struggle with as an adult to
Right.
work with
Right.
difficult people sometimes, but sometimes you have to get towards a common goal. And so we've seen that magic happen with kids. We've seen magic happen with seniors. We do free lessons for seniors.
I love that.
And seeing the little grandma out there playing guitar and seeing her family watch her and support her.
Yeah.
That's magic. Like what you were describing with your mother, we've seen that with these seniors, just picking up an instrument. Or they played before in a previous life and revisiting that, their
The
glory
stroke.
days.
We had the guy in your store, the stroke. He had a stroke and he was playing drums, remember? And he was,
Yes.
again, right, left, kind of
and that
getting your
helped
brain to
him
kind of work with the
with his therapy to
Right.
get his
corpus
motor
callosum
skills.
and getting that to cross the pathway. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's just so many benefits. I mean, I think everyone should have a piece of music instruction in their life in some form or fashion, just to get your brain.
Keep it
I
right.
totally agree. And it's so funny. I mean, I know we got to wrap up, but like when we talked about initially doing this podcast, I was kind of like, what are we going to talk about? And then now that like we've done this, I'm like, gosh, we could have talked for an hour about the benefits of music.
I had to cut it short on Sting, I have to tell you.
Anyway,
You
girls,
do love Sting.
I do love you, Sting.
For free.
Sting is her obsession. And I have to say, he still sounded great even at, what is he, 80 something?
He's
We just heard
amazing.
him.
I just
I
sent you that other song. It's
Yeah.
like it's almost like a Be Well song that he
Yeah.
does for yoga, and you listen to. I just remember the one I sent to you, and
Yeah.
he's just
That's good.
He's so interesting.
I don't think he misses any workouts either. Cause
He knows me now. I
Oh,
wave to him.
good.
He does. He does look good. Absolutely.
He's like, oh gosh, she's here again.
All right, guys, I want to say thank you so much for being here with
Absolutely.
me today. You took time out of your busy schedules. I love you both. And I want to say to my listener, thank you for being with us today. Hopefully you like what we do here. Today's episode was just kind of about fun. And I know sometimes we get into some heavier topics on this show. I know a lot of us are feeling a little heavy right now with some things going on in the world. But again, today was more about fun and community. And I hope you like what you see here. Again, we have a positive vibe. We are, again, just trying to bring you some knowledge and wisdom, maybe get your brain to thinking. I appreciate you all so very much. Right now, I am on Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. Please tell your friends about my show on YouTube if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps out in the algorithm. Again, appreciate you so much. And thanks to my friends Kim and Whitney for being here. And love you all. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thank
All
you.
right.